Hello, what's going on, my friends? This is Paul Hutchings with The Good Parts, a daily social media show where I go live Monday through Friday right around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to share one good part from my life and or business that hopefully can help you step into more freedom, happiness, joy, abundance, prosperity, goodness, all the great things that life has to offer. That's my intention. And hey, I know that's a big goal. That's a big intention, but hey, why not go for big things in life, right? So in today's episode, I want to share with you a talk that was given by one of my friends. And I want to introduce this real quick in case you didn't read the description. So I have a friend, his name's Avram Gonzalez. And I first became aware of Avram Gonzalez in a company that I was in 7 years ago. Man, the time flies, right? 7 years ago, I was building this direct sales company, and I was in the audience, and I was listening at an event to people, the leaders talking about different people who are creating different results. And all of a sudden they started talking about Avram and the incredible results that he had created in this business in a very short amount of time. Of course, my ears perked up and I'm like, okay, who is this guy? What's he doing? Anyway, I eventually became friends with Avram, and there was a time where we were actually mastermind partners. We would meet once a week. We would talk about ideas to help each other grow our businesses. We were even doing live webinars every single week together. And I came to really like Avram and get to know him. And one of the things that I learned about Avram was that before he ever decided to get into online marketing and direct sales, he actually had invested an entire year creating a video a day, doing something new, and then talking about what he had done in that something new. And his videos became so prolific and influential out in the marketplace that he was invited to give a TEDx talk on his experience. And so I wondered, and by the way, these videos he created, I don't think they had anything to do with business. Nonetheless, he was able to create influence and add value to people's lives and inspire people. And I was wondering last week if there was any correlation between the videos that he created and then the massive success he had his first time ever in a direct sales business. And my guess is there probably was some correlation. And so this morning, this morning, I watched that TEDx talk because he told me he had it. I reached out to him last week. I said, hey, do you have a video talking about your experience? Because one of the goals of this Good Part show that I do is to do something daily for myself and my own business, but also to inspire others to do something consistently for themselves and their own businesses. And I wondered if Avram might have some insights to helping people see the value in doing something like that, and maybe make the decision to start and stick with some sort of consistent content. So I'm going to stop talking other than to say, if you're tuning in live, let me know who you are down below. If you're watching the replay, say hello, do hashtag replay down below. And I'm going to be taking notes along with you as I share this video with you. And the goal is that we can learn something today that can help us perhaps get unstuck in certain areas of our lives and or break through to new and exciting life and business experiences. So give me just 1 second here. I emailed myself the TEDx link, so I'm going to pull that up right now. And then I should be able to share my screen and we will watch Avram. And give me just an ad here. Forward the video a little bit. All right, here we go. 1 second, share screen, and here we go.
All right, who's ready to find out what else is possible tonight? So we've had a lot of great presentations, and we've got some recurring themes that are going to come up in this talk today, and there's probably a reason for that. So have you always known that something else was possible for you in your life? Have you always known that there were greater possibilities for you just waiting to be grabbed? Have you ever wondered what it would take for your phenomenal life to show up? The perfect relationship, well, maybe not perfect, but the one of your dreams, more money than you could ever spend, a business that actually worked for you, list goes on and on. That's what Inspiraction is all about. It's about finding out what possibilities exist for you in this universe. So in a world of infinite possibilities, it would make sense that everybody's got a chance to have exactly what they desire. So what happened? And Why don't we all have it all right now? So has anybody ever had a tough day? Show of hands. Okay, anybody that didn't raise their hand, I know who the liars are. Okay, sometimes that tough day turns into a tough week, tough month, or a really hard year. Some of us have spent years of struggle, and things can seem pretty difficult. So I found myself in a pretty similar place back in 2009. Although it wasn't that bad, it still felt like it. I'd finished college. I'd moved back home with my parents. Ooh, that was good. And I got dumped by my girlfriend, and I couldn't find a job. At least nothing that would work for me. And I felt like I had a loss of purpose. You know, I'd spent my entire life going to school. And when I got done, it just didn't seem like there was anything more for me. Every day I'd go to work with my dad. I had a little part-time job. And I'd come home thinking, is this it? Is this all I get to have? Like, is tomorrow going to be the same? And that didn't make me feel very good. You know, what I found out from all that was that when I wasn't growing, I was actually dying. So when I wasn't doing anything new, those are the times when I felt like crap. When I wasn't jumping out of my comfort zone and doing new things to learn and grow about myself, it just didn't seem like there was anything worth living for. So at the end of 2009 and the beginning of 2010, I made a decision and I chose to create Inspiraction. I chose to take a step, not knowing what it would look like, just to find out what is possible for me. Because I knew that there had to be something greater for me out there. So in 2010, I ended up picking up a video camera and I did something new every single day that I'd never done before. I created over 250 videos, all for the fun of it. I found thousands of new friends, tons of new people in this room are actually my friends because of this whole entire thing. So it's pretty cool. Lots of new fans, subscribers to my YouTube channel, and I found out that I was inspiring people all over the world. So that was a pretty cool feeling. But the entire journey was originally just for me. I just wanted to see what could happen if I just took a step out there. So it took me to places that I never dreamed of. I spent one day cross-dressing. That was a cool experience. I love this picture because my biceps look huge in a dress. I also jumped out of my car and danced around to Miley Cyrus' Party in the USA on a dare, just for the fun of it, and stop traffic. Maybe not a good idea in some other places, but it worked out that time. I also spent an afternoon with a lot of my friends creating this huge, giant sidewalk chalk mural in the front of my yard. Yeah, Mythica, she saw that one. So we had a lot of fun acting like kids that day. We also spent some time with the kids around the community, actually going out and building a snowman that was larger than we could have ever fathomed before we even started. So my friend Mitch is in that picture. He's about 6 foot tall, and he's already on a ladder. So that thing was a monster, and it was around for weeks after all the rest of the snow melted. This picture is actually me sliding down Mount Grays, a 14,000-foot mountain here in Colorado, on my butt. That was one of the wildest rides I have ever experienced. And on that same mountain, I journeyed to the top of the world to search for sunrise. And that's what I found, as well as a couple new friends. So being up there on that mountain was also an incredible experience that I'll never forget. I also spent a day in silence, a day with no shoes. I spent a day with no arm, or one arm. And that was far more difficult than I thought before I actually came up with the challenge. So what's the big deal, and who cares about sidewalk chalk and climbing mountains and doing all that stuff? Well, I found out that just by choosing it and going for it, things happened. New things occurred in my life, and I found a tremendous amount of discovery each and every day just by going and looking for it, being open and being willing to be surprised. So after a year, the amount of growth that happened in my life was absolutely incredible. I found myself in a new business with new business partners. I had never thought about starting a business. Maybe that was why I couldn't get a job after school. I also found myself in a new relationship after being dumped, all the way to being able to receive somebody who is far greater than I could ever imagine. Beyond that, the experiences that I had were always different and never what I thought they would actually be. So when I went and made the snowman, I found an amazing sense of community, being that some of the oldest people participating in the project were 23, 25, and the youngest being in second grade. That was pretty cool, and that was something that I'd never found before. So I knew that after I completed my year of firsts and found all these people that were inspired by what I was doing, I knew that what I was doing was being the invitation for other people to step out of their comfort zones and just go for it. See, what happens is when you do something and you show other people what's possible, other people also realize the same exact thing. So for the longest time, nobody could run the 4-minute mile, and then somebody did it, and then everybody started to do it. So my mission for Beyond was actually to take all this and empower others to take the challenge. Take the Inspiration Challenge, go out there. You don't have to do it for an entire year, but go out there and push your comfort zone at least once, maybe twice. 3 times certainly wouldn't hurt. And it doesn't matter how small or big it is, but incredible things can actually happen when you go and do it. So the latter half of this talk is about actually giving you the tools to take the challenge. We're going to talk about fear versus excitement. We're going to talk about the power of asking questions, which has already come up a number of times tonight. What it is about choice and discovery that will actually change your life, and this silly concept of failure that seems to come up all the time. We're going to break through all this stuff, guys. So fear versus excitement. Interesting thing about this is that scientists have actually proved that it's neurologically and biologically the same exact thing. So the butterflies, everybody's got them. But what if that's actually just you being excited about what's coming up in your universe? Pretty cool, right? So what if it were actually excitement? And I found out that what comes up in my universe before I take the dive and actually do something new is pretty equal to what I would receive on the other side, as long as I made the choice to go do it. So I found out that whenever I did stuff that scared the crap out of me, those are the times when I grew the most.
Connection is magic. Any small business
Dang
could use some of it to
ads!
get and stay
All right, guys.
connected with.
Here we go.
Which brings us to one of the most powerful tools that you could have in breaking free of your comfort zone, and that's asking questions. So asking you shall receive. Everybody's heard that one, right? It's a universal truth. The Bible has it. The Secret, if you've ever seen that movie, that had the same concept. So what if I was asking the question that actually brought up new possibilities for your life? So when you ask a question like, what else is possible? Do you feel the energy kind of expand? Versus when you say, this is how it is, do you feel a contraction? What if you asked, how does it get any better than this? For the good, the bad, and the ugly throughout your entire life. Didn't matter what it is. If when you ask the universe, how does it get any better than this? What do you think the universe is going to say? Thank God you asked me a question. Here, let me show you. And if that weren't the case, it would have been written, conclude and you shall receive. So, being open to being surprised is actually like the best thing that you can do for yourself when you ask a question, because you don't know how things are going to show up. You don't know what it's going to look like, and you certainly don't know what you bargained for when you asked it. So being open to being surprised in how it shows up is the key. So how many of you know what it will be like before you actually do it? Or do you actually know what it will be like when you do it? Answer is no. No, you will never know what it's like to actually go out and cross-dress until you do it. So guys, I dare you, go out and cross-dress for a day. It's unbelievable the kind of stuff that actually happens and the things that you learn from actually doing it. All right, the possibilities are endless. It's up to you to decide, what are you going to do that's going to change your reality forever? There's also this concept of choice and discovery. So I encourage you to begin with the choice rather than the analysis. So how many of you guys are getting ready to get ready? We do this in business. We do this with relationships. We do this all the time. So what if you just, for example, you changed 6 times before this event tonight just to make sure that you're ready before you went? But you kept changing and kept changing. You're like, this isn't good. This isn't good. And then you missed the entire event. That's what happens when you're getting ready to get ready and you're not actually doing anything to change things for you. So when I decided to do Inspiration and I chose it, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea how to edit videos. I had no idea how to do social media. I had no idea what was going to come out of this crazy experiment, but I knew that things had to change for me. And what was crazy was the second that I chose it, everything showed up. So when I chose to do this, somebody came into my universe through Facebook. Yes, Facebook. Somebody showed up to actually build my blog from scratch for nothing. He just wanted to do it for me. I learned how to do all the video production by myself. I got a job as a videographer. He saw one of my blogs and was like, I'll train you. We'll do this. Got all the software. And the list goes on. I just learned everything as I went, and everything continued to show up that enabled me to have the life that I desired. So discovery is actually a funny thing, because unless you are willing to go on an adventure, nothing is going to change for you. Discovery requires an adventure, and so being willing to be surprised and see what shows up is actually the fun part about it. Remember that fear versus excitement thing? Oh yeah, that's not real. So what if you just went for it and knew that every single day was going to be an adventure? What if you woke up every day and asked, who am I today? And what grand and glorious adventures am I going to have? Is that a good question to start the day with, or what? See what happens and be open to the possibilities. And then we get to the concept of failure. Failure is an interesting one, and it's actually one of the things that stops most people from experiencing something totally different. So how many of you guys have ever felt like you have failed at something? All right, no more people are lying in the audience. It's fantastic. Okay, well, there's actually good news about it, because what if you actually succeeded at finding out everything that you didn't want? So maybe you failed at a marriage, maybe you failed at dating. What if you were just finding out who didn't work for you? So take a look at your life and figure out, where have I been a success? Was failure ever actually real? Maybe I was just finding out all this stuff that didn't actually work for me. Great, now I can choose something totally different. And this is the key right here to all this. For when you go out and take a challenge and step out of your comfort zone, would you just give yourself a chance and get out of the judgment of you? Yeah. Every time you go do something new and you judge yourself for the way that you performed, do you think it might get in the way of you doing something different next time? Yeah. So what if you gave yourself a chance each and every time to shine brighter than you could ever imagine? Because my friends, you are an infinite being. And could an infinite being ever be anything less than infinite? So let's not judge ourselves, okay? If you go out into the world and do something that you've never done before, I guarantee you new things will come into your life that you could never, ever imagine. And if you don't judge yourself, more and more things will begin to show up as you take each new choice and step into each brand new day. So, I'd like to close with this statement, and that is, you are the only one powerful enough to stop you, and the only one powerful enough to set you free. So, my friends, what do you choose? Will you choose something totally different, or will you choose the same thing that you've been living each and every day? The choice is yours. Thank you.
Woohoo! Way to go, Avram. What'd you guys think? Thank you to those of you who are sharing your comments and insights down below. Did you pick up the Snowman Epiphany? Write it down below if you picked that up. And what I want to do here before we close out the video is I wanted to, looks like I'm muted. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. I failed. I succeeded in finding out how not to do the thing, right? But I love that reframe on failure from Avram. I thought that was really, really great. But what I wanted to do is share just a couple of the insights that I picked up from this. And then also share some ideas that you might run with if you're looking for a way to step out on the internet and create consistent content. We heard Avram's idea. Avram did something he'd never done before every day for a year. And maybe that's something you want to do. Maybe it's not. Here's the thing. There are other things you can do, right? So I have a couple other ideas that I want to pass along with you. Kevin Coe says, Snowman. Yeah, Snowman. What was the epiphany? What did he discover in building that snowman? Lori Sue has a great comment. We do have the power to stop ourselves and set ourselves free. Yep, we're the only ones. Jeff says, I love this. Need to get out of my own head and get out of my own way. I need to remember that fear is the antithesis of faith and just do it and enjoy the journey. And yeah, wasn't that also an interesting insight where he said scientists have concluded from analyzing brains that fear and excitement produce the exact same response? So we can just flip that around. You know, if we feel like we're feeling a little fear, what if we just called it excitement and stepped into that feeling and embraced it? Monty says, be open to possibility. Gregory said that was amazing. David says, takeaway, I am the only one to set myself free. Hey, thanks for sharing that, David. Monty says, go on an adventure. Yeah, so the Snowman Epiphany, and I was taking notes because I wanted to be sure I got it, was he found a sense of community. So he had no idea that if he built a snowman, I mean, who would have thought that you'd find a sense of community in building a snowman? And that's kind of the point. We don't know what our experience is going to be until we have the experience. But so many times in life and business, we project what we think is going to be our experience onto the things we want to do. And oftentimes those projections are not as positive as they could be. And then because we project non-positive experiences on those experiences, we stop ourselves from taking action when the truth is we don't know what's going to happen. So why not go on a journey of discovery? I thought that was such a great point. The other couple of things I wanted to mention here, and then I'm going to share these ideas with you. One thing I really wanted to say in today's video is there is more to you than your business. There is more to you than your products. There is more to you that maybe the world is supposed to receive. And this specifically, I think, can be directed at people in direct sales or network marketing. A lot of times we join a business and we think that the value we bring to the world is the product or service that we're offering, and that's it. And this can get people in a situation where everything they do is talking about their product or their business. There's more value to you than that. And that's what creating content is all about. It's about discovering the value you have that can benefit people regardless of whether or not they ever buy anything from you, and deliver that consistently. And I'm getting some feedback. So if there's someone somehow who's here that is unmuted, please mute because I'm live. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that I learned from a psychotherapist recently that novelty actually releases dopamine in the brain. And what's novelty? Novelty is doing something new. It could be learning something new. It could be starting a new challenge. It could be just anything that's not typically in the ordinary day to day. That's novelty. And we actually get rewarded with dopamine for doing that. And so one of the benefits to creating consistent content, aside from the good and the sales and the income that it can help you create as you build trust and deliver value to people, is you yourself. If you're learning something new, that's novelty, right? That's novelty. And so you're giving yourself dopamine hits. If you create a video that's new, that's not the same as all the videos you've done before, you're giving yourself dopamine, and that's a pleasurable experience. And then the last thing that I wanted to cover here real quick is these ideas. So out of everyone who's here live and maybe on the replay, comment below if you're creating consistent content. Say yes, I am creating consistent content. And if you're not creating consistent content and you're open to sharing, you don't have to. Comment below, not yet, because I'm curious of all of the people watching this video, where does everyone fall? So Monty Sandlin says, yes, creating consistent content. Awesome. Thank you, Monty, for doing that. Appreciate that. Maybe, Monty, you can share with us how long you've been creating consistent content, how you got inspired to start. If you have any tips for people on creating consistent content, anyone who's doing that consistently can comment below. William Seong is definitely creating consistent content. Awesome. Well done. Robert Compton, yes. Way to go, Robert. Bill Fever says trying. Okay, well, that's good. That's way better than not trying, right, Bill? So keep doing as you try and finding those do moments. Positive cash flow. What's up, brother or sister? We're friends. I love positive cash flow. So nice to meet you. Says, yes, I am. Kevin Coe says, yes, but needed to move into CTA. Okay, call to action. Great. Lori Sue says, not yet. Okay. Monty is kicking butt. Nick says, Danny says, I am, but not enough. Okay. Gregory Napier says, I am creating morning at 6 a.m. So every morning he's got a time. And that's one thing I would recommend, is set a time that you are going to create your consistent content. schedule it, plan it, do it. I like morning times because I feel like that's when I'm most filled with energy. Matthew Martin says, not as consistent as I should be. Okay, well, that's okay. If you want to change that, you can change that right now. Right, Matthew? Nick says he is. Oh, that's Manas. Okay, cool. So here are a couple ideas, right? So I do the good parts, which is just the show where I try to share one good part from my life and or business. You guys know that. So that's one idea. You can take the good parts challenge, and that would be one way to start creating consistent content. You can take Avram's idea, do something new every day and make a video and talk about it. That's another idea. Here are some other ideas I came up with. Learn and share one new thing every day. That is a great idea. That's a great thing to do. What if every day you just picked up a book and learned something that you didn't know, or found something that inspired you, or found something that just touched you in some way, and then you made a video sharing that thing? How easy would that be to do? And you can do that. That would be another idea for doing something consistently. Here's another one. Meet one new person every day. Ask them questions, find out about their journey, make a video about what you learned, what you discovered. That would be a way that, would get you connecting with people and kind of engaging in the relationship building process while creating content. And I think that would be a great thing to do to grow your business long-term, because if you're connecting with people with a genuine heart and really wanting to help people, then odds are you're going to find people that have a need for whatever it is you're bringing to the market. So that would be another idea. Here's another one. Take one action in your business every day and talk about it. So let's say you start a new business, you're fresh, brand new, never done it before. You're like, what do I talk about? I don't know. How do I create content? What if you just took an action in your business and then you talked about what you did? Hey guys, just in today's video, I want to share with you what I did today to attempt to move my business forward, why I did it, and how you might, want to consider doing something like this. And if you got good results from it, you can talk about those results. That would be something you could do. Share your favorite moment or experience from every day. All of us have these moments in our days that are magical, that we treasure, that we think back over the last 24 hours. What was good from my life? If you're mining gold and you've got this little pan, the idea is you put all the stuff in the pan and then you sort it and shake it, and all the not great stuff falls out. And what's left is the gold. What if you were to look at your life and look for the gold and then share the gold and turn that gold into a lesson or an inspiration? That would be something you could do. You could also share your favorite human interaction from each day. This kind of goes in alignment with meeting one new person. But as you're connecting with people, was there one moment with someone that you learned something that you really enjoyed? Why did you enjoy it? You could talk about that. So these are just some ideas to hopefully help more of us see that there really are an unlimited number of things we could talk about in content. And then also maybe the last point, you see that Avram's videos had nothing to do with business. He wasn't even in a business. He was just in a place in life where he was feeling stuck and wondering, is this all there is for me? Or is there more? And he wanted to step out of his comfort zone and do something different. And the fact that he did that, when he did start the business, he had huge success. And Avram, if you watch this, maybe you can tell us below, did the daily video creation and the community and the relationships that you built from making that daily video, did that translate into the success you experienced in your home-based business? Because I don't know, I'm just guessing. But one of my presuppositions or belief is that building trust and rapport is one of the most important things we can do. So if Avram's going, live or making a video every day, showing his face, talking about his experiences, not doing any business, having no call to action whatsoever, what can be happening over that entire year is he's building trust and rapport where people are liking him, knowing him, and trusting him, so that when it came time to launch his business, he already had the hard part out of the way. Now all he had to do is give invitations, and I'm guessing that a lot of people took action on that. And I do have one last point to make. I noticed a commonality between one of the things Avram said and one of the ways in which I look at content creation. So Avram said, what he said, so he talked about the benefits. Like, I got all these benefits. This was cool, and this was cool, and these people were inspired, and yada, yada, yada. But he said, the entire journey was for me. That is powerful, because if you can go on a journey for yourself, right? Learn something new every day, share it in a video. What if nobody watches the video? That's okay, because it wasn't for them anyway. It was for you. If you can have that be your primary goal and motivation, that you're going on this journey for you, I think that's a key to being able to create long-term consistent content. And also, I think it's a key to attracting people to your content, because people will see that, your world doesn't rise and fall on whether or not they like your video or comment on your video or watch your video. None of that matters. You're going to do your content anyway, because you hope to be a benefit to other people, but really you're doing it for your own self-discovery, your own communication, your own novelty and dopamine and all of these other benefits. You're doing it to be a more conscious viewer of the events of your life. It's like journaling. People have talked about journaling for so long. Well, in today's day and age, we can use content as a form of journaling and have a chance to impact others and have a chance to build trust and rapport, which then can give us a chance to grow an income if we're bringing something of value to the marketplace, like a product or a service. So I'm going to stop talking, other than to say, before I get to the rest of the comments here, I am Paul Hutchings. If you're finding me for the first time and you got value from this content, consider liking and subscribing to me on social media, or subscribing. I don't know if you can like me on social media. Hopefully you like me. Please, please, please like me. Just kidding. But yeah, subscribe to me on social media for more content like this. And also, if you want to get more from me and be sure that you'll get my future content, consider visiting my website here, paulhutchings.net/GIFTS. Pick up a cool free gift and subscribe to my email list. And I will do my darndest to add value and light to your life. My main goal is to help people become financially free by disconnecting their time from their money. However, I talk about a lot of things that help with personal growth, motivation, financial literacy, all just whatever good I can find that's helped me to get to where I am and is helping me to get to where I'm going. Really, that's what I strive to share. So with that, I'm going to come back to the comments here, because we don't want to leave anyone out. And comment below also if you've watched the content today and you were inspired by Avram or something I said or something someone said in the comments, to decide right now to go on a journey of discovery, to decide right now to create consistent content. I would love to know if there's anyone here today who has made that decision. So let me jump to the comments. Christian Craig says 123 every day, Monday through Friday. There you go. Awesome. Thanks for that example, Minister Christian. Sam Simmons says not yet. Okay. Thanks for being honest and authentic. Monty says, I make going live a priority, because if I do not show up, how can people like me? And that is such an incredible point, Monty, right? If you're not showing up, people don't even have a chance to like you, to get to know you, to trust you. So it's like something that, what are the things I can do to grow my business? What are the things I can do to move my life forward? That's like making a video, going live. It stacks the odds in our favor. So thank you for that comment, Monty. Manas says the good parts really helped me fight the fear. I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much, Manas. He's on number 81. Whoa, look at that. Way to go. I'm so proud of you, Manas. Keep up the great service. And how's your experience been so far? Are you glad you made the decision 81 videos ago to go on this journey? Let us know. Were there big negative things that happened? Were there positive things that happened? Was it different than you thought it would be? As you share your experience, others can see what might be in store for them if they too choose to follow your example. Monty says your action doesn't need to be perfect, but we got to take massive action. I believe that 100%. Manas says, these are some helpful points. Yay, glad to hear that. Monty says, amazing. Thank you so much. You spot it. You got it, Monty. William Seong says, bingo. That's what I always think too. Awesome. Success leaves clues, right? So thanks for that, William. Gregory Napier says, that is one of the reasons I go live every morning for me. Perfect. Manas says, I really needed to hear this. Yay. Monty says, thanks, Paul. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, Monty. Amy Star Allen says, your light is so bright. Such a great message. Love you. Oh, thank you so much, Amy. And yours is as well. Love you so much too. Manas says, definitely great info. Matthew says, video per day. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it, right? Danny says, I will be the snowman. LOL. I will create more. Yes. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's it. A special shout out to Avram for, doing this and inspiring this and creating this TED Talk. Avram right now, as far as I know, is not in direct sales. He runs a marketing agency, but he's a great guy. You can say hi to him in the comments. Let him know that he inspired you if he inspired you today. And that's it. So I'll be back tomorrow with Good Parts number 76. And between now and then, I want to encourage you to get out there, take action, go for your dreams. And we'll hope to hear you or see you in a future episode. All right, guys, take care.